match. Speaking of important matches, we are about to get this show on the road. Cooler and K1LLSEN, the eternal rivalry. It's going to continue, starting off with the Blood Run. K1LLSEN and Cooler, the QuakeCon rematch. But who's going to take it this time?
Oh, we have a Ghost Walk straight away, chasing through the teleporter. K1LLSEN does actually find it, but there's a heavy up, and he's just going to miss his jump a little bit. He's actually respecting a lot. I think he could have made it through, but he managed to get a trap behind. It doesn't work, and Cooler retaliates with the nails. I think K1LLSEN hesitated for a second, and it just went wrong in the opening 30 seconds. A very unusual mistake.
Honestly, I think if you're going to make a mistake, I mean, at least it's in map 1, the moment that things have begun. Unfortunately, it just so happened to be Blood Run, where an early mistake can almost cost you the entire map. It's the nature of Blood Run, where you can really start to dig your heels in. And I'm not saying that just because it's Nyx. But fundamentally, it's, you know, K1LLSEN. It's not an amazing map to make a mistake in at all.
All over, he's actually going to go for it. Looking for rockets, hits 2 fantastic shots, but he is quite low. The shotgun's good in retaliation. So low, Cooler goes for the sort of corner dodge of the floor, but with 14 health, he's now 2 up.
Could have gone either way. That exchange, Cooler surviving with barely any stack to work with, but now establishing nice little rail, actually. Can kind of freely go through this teleporter without really having to worry about it. K1LLSEN forced onto the back foot. Going to be really interesting to see what his escape route's going to be. You know, this heavy's just about to spawn. Cooler extending extra to make sure he can really make K1LLSEN sweat before he takes the heavy. It's going to both make it guaranteed that he can take it, and now using the stack, really lay that pressure on K1LLSEN if that's what he wants to do.
I feel like already this feels like a very different series to what we saw. Oh, hold on a second. That's all can puzzle is we've got K1LLSEN who just managed to steal away the mega health, but he ends up walking to his doom. This is Cooler getting much better of K1LLSEN. I want to finish my thoughts. I feel like this is an incredibly different series to what we saw already at the championship match at QuakeCon.
I was going to say before you even finished that sentence that I agree with you wholeheartedly. There's just a different demeanor here. There's just a level more. There's a level of more care coming from Cooler.
100%.
And you know, this is more reminiscent of the Cooler that we know and understand. It's the fact that QuakeCon was just very much not the case. But Cooler gonna wait out this onslaught of nails now. Only eat a few of them, and the return for a frag worth the damage all day, every day. He's gonna pick up another one, making it 4-0 pretty early on. Kind of rare in Blood Run that you see frags ramp up the way they have. But so far, Cooler ain't gonna be the one complaining. K1LLSEN pretty far behind, and once more fighting for this heavy. The second you don't really have a stack to work with, stopping someone from taking heavy or anything in the center of the map, it's quite risky. And, oh god, speaking of which, death from above and then some.
K1LLSEN trying to go for a cheeky steal, but you know what? He's going to fall once again.
You know, maybe this is like QuakeCon, just mirrored.
Yeah,
flip on its
I was
head.
going to say. It's, it looks like K1LLSEN's shook.
I do hope, and I don't want to give any form of disrespect, but I do hope that early mistake hasn't upset him and is still affecting him.
It's so important on a map like this. Having an early mistake, okay, he might be able to get something, but he can't stay alive long enough. There's going to be the heavy, there's going to be 225s, Cooler's going to be all right. It's just so costly on a map like Blood Run to have an early mistake like this. And I think K1LLSEN recognizes the importance of that and maybe isn't able to ignore this. And on top of that, Cooler's hitting some insane stuff too.
Well, I think it's definitely fair to say that history didn't exist at this stage. Cooler's always played like that. What are you talking about? We're almost 10 frags in, and we've only just gone past the 3.5-minute mark. This could be one of the fastest potential, even 10-0s at this stage that I think we've maybe even ever seen in QPL. The frags are just constantly ramping up, and to boot, Cooler, it's not like it's costing him anything. He's constantly maintaining this level of control and pressure. K1LLSEN just getting consistently clipped by rails, unfortunately missing a couple of rails on the flip side of that as well. And it's, I mean, safe to say, not his map so far.
Not at all. There's plenty of time available. There's a universe where he can make the comeback, but Cooler has to let his foot off the gas. It doesn't look like he's really doing that.
But you look at the absolute deficit that K1LLSEN is facing off against, and you look at the real freedom of position now that Cooler has too. You know, fundamentally, he's 8 frags in the lead, and we're just about to hit the 5-minute warning. If you want to now go back to that really patented, like, hyper-defensive style, he could even start going for that now if you wanted. That tripod, by the way, was ridiculous, and the rails have finished it as well. Cooler looking for extra layers of denial, but he's got 5 minutes just short of or above to now go, well, I kind of, make 9 mistakes. while trying to play hyper defense. This is going to be very stressful for COOLLERZ if he even had a shred of making a comeback here.
Oh, this little jump across, actually. There's going to be the punish, too. Looking for the shotgun. Should finish the job, and he just holds still.
Waits for him to strafe into it. Like, COOLLERZ is so composed right now.
He's playing an insane game. COOLLERZ is out of this world right now.
10-0 at 5 minutes is definitely something to be concerned about. I fear that COOLLERZ, almost overstayed his welcome, but he did stand his ground. Quite weak though, has to pick up some of those small armors, otherwise COOLLERZ at the risk of respawning and just picking up another frag. We'll see what he's looking at. COOLLERZ railable at this health. Has to be really careful. Watch your HP.
A little shake. He wants to be hitting his shots. Maybe he feels like he's not connecting with enough. Can't let the past of this map haunt you.
Absolutely. There has been a pretty common issue with COOLLERZ's accuracy. He hasn't really been hitting anything at all this entire map. Hard to kind of land those shots constantly when you're getting bombarded the way COOLLERZ was. Yeah, sure, but this definitely looks a lot more like the COOLLERZ and a lot less like the COOLLERZ.
Well, let's see if COOLLERZ can make any headway getting into center map. That heavy's already been taken by COOLLERZ. COOLLERZ doesn't have the Ghost Walk. Rail shot, looking for a pretty tasty angle. Okay, there might be a chance here. The shotgun going so close, all with 1 health.
That micro crouch at the last second and the sort of back left strafe to just try and mess up the spread as much as physically possible, and it did survive.
Did you see how COOLLERZ was so close that he kept walking forward without shooting the shotgun? Because he thought if he got the full blast, he could have got the kill immediately. And I think his calculations with the HP were exactly right as well.
And now COOLLERZ, we can only really look at these frags so much so far. There's potential to maybe come back, but yes, be careful peeking at that HP, and he knows it. He's going to take the Mega, but missing the rail. Very, very costly. He is going to hit one more now. COOLLERZ. See how he recovers. There should be some little health bubbles around. He is going to collect, but he's not out of dodge just yet. COOLLERZ has to be very mindful himself. No armor on the way to correct that. 3 minutes on the clock, 7 frags. I mean, I kind of half feel like the rest of this map kind of needs to be COOLLERZ getting back into his flow. Yeah. Just getting almost a little bit of like mini aim practice on the go. Hit your shots, make sure you're making like no movement mistakes. Just try and warm up as much as you can for the next map, because this one feels like a bit of a write-off.
Honestly, I think if you can get to 4 or 5, I think COOLLERZ will feel okay getting into the next map. It's a pretty bad start to the series, sure, but there's a long road ahead.
There's one thing top-level players do is discard how they feel about a previous loss. You know, we've seen these absolute comebacks made in the past. The Ghost Walk to evade and to secure. COOLLERZ, there's no reason to even chase it, really.
Oh my god.
Oh my word, that damage. Tri-bolt OP. Please.
The COOLLERZ are stretching a little bit. Having a good time. Make sure he's feeling good. Machine gun is looking... Everything's looking scary. He has to move forward a bit. COOLLERZ not even going to get through the teleporter.
There's such a high level of preparation, it kind of feels to me, the way COOLLERZ has approached this. I'm pretty confident that COOLLERZ, above all people, was probably not satisfied with how he played against COOLLERZ at QuakeCon 2019. Yeah. And this is his opportunity, direct opportunity, to just correct those wrongs, to really, like, you know, say, never mind, that was just a bad tournament. And now this is the real me.
Do you think it's personal to some degree?
It must be, because COOLLERZ understands the own reputation that is, you know, what he has created for himself. You know, he's no stranger to this kind of pressure. Yeah, sure, and he's had hella wins online and even in these LAN settings. He went into QuakeCon looking so near untouchable. And I feel like it must have been quite a, like, in some ways, almost like a smack to the ego, that it goes as one-sided as it did. This is such an opportunity for him to kind of just correct that.
And deny that second name for COOLLERZ on the belt. COOLLERZ going to get shot past. Oh, there we go, blast. He's managed to make it to 5. COOLLERZ did step forward with a couple more kills himself, but if he's feeling that his aim's getting a bit more on point, I think that's going to be very important. We're not going to be having Rail on the next map, as it will be Corrupted Keep. But he's got to be getting that hit scanner going a bit.
But it is a map that COOLLERZ has displayed great talent on, for sure. Give me another frag coming out here near heavy. And right now, this is, by all accounts, just a bit of a mini victory lap going into map number 1. It was just fundamentally, look, COOLLERZ's playing much better now. I feel like he's a little bit more warmed up, perhaps, but yeah, there's not much else to say about this map besides that COOLLERZ was 100% top speed, no acceleration.
Well, he's got the gauntlet out.
Rev, rev, rev. Yes.
There we go. I'll just deny a little light armor at the end. Take that, COOLLERZ.
Give me those statistics.
Hell yeah.
But fundamentally, that was just, I mean, for lack of a better term, a body bag. That was a horrendous start for COOLLERZ off the back of a mistake. I think that's probably the worst mistake he's made all tournament.
Yeah.
And the consequences were dire because you're making a mistake that early on Blood Run of all maps.
And I think it also showed how COOLLER was able to just play it perfectly from that and to take advantage of that mistake. Everything he did kind of, it just opened the game up more and more and more from it. It was like COOLLERZ was like, right, if I do this, I'm going to make amends of that mistake. I'll do this. But he should have just cast it aside and gone for that slow game yet again. If Nyx is getting a couple of frags lead, holding onto her weapons, that's nasty, then she's so hard to recover a lead from.
As we see so many of these frags, a lot of them were just COOLLERZ, wrong place, wrong time, overly dedicating to fights to really try and just kind of, I think, strong-arm his way back into the match rather than trying to take the fights a little bit more naturally, I suppose. I know there's obviously confidence there. If you're going for a fight, it's because you truly believe you do have the ability to take it. But yeah, COOLLERZ accuracy and just these moments, even like down to here, the little moments where he's either just keeping his crosshair there, waiting for COOLLERZ to strafe right into it. His own dodges doing, I guess, the classic COOLLER where he dodges things by straight up not moving. Yeah. Because he knows you're just going to, flick your mouse either direction.
It looks like he's going AFK, but he's that's just his style, his technique for dodging. Sometimes you try it and it doesn't work. It's like, why can't I be cooler?
Yeah, exactly. But I kind of think those kind of strategies, they only work because you have so much experience with just other players. You know their tendencies. You know how they're likely to aim against you. I mean, experience personified is how you would describe COOLLER in the first place.
Yeah. I'm going to have a wild stab that that's actually the shotgun in the middle, the 89%.
That would be pretty damn impressive if it wasn't.
I'm like, I need to recheck that because that is phenomenal.
Since when's the shotgun been green?
But okay, we can start thinking about the next map because, as I say, that one was a bit of a write-off. Phenomenal from COOLLER, but there's not that much more to read into it. Corrupted Keep, very different playground for the two of them. We've got Eisen for COOLLERZ, we've got Visor for COOLLER.
And I feel like that kind of champion pick, the Visor's always going to be really useful on a map like this, where there's little kind of hiding spots someone might try and retreat to. I feel like right now COOLLER is displaying better combat skill, and that goes a really long way on Corrupted. The exclusion of the rail means that it kind of just, you have to approach things just a little bit differently. Right now it looks like COOLLER's going to be peppering out some of that machine gun. Has a favorable spawn where he's, piercing sight gives him that information. Has the Mega as well, and just being so close to LG and the stack to boot, that's a pretty easy frag to start things off. COOLLERZ really trying to kind of bully his way into the LG. Yeah. The second you deny that weapon, it works out. But yeah, again, COOLLERZ perhaps overcommitting just a little bit for a second time.
It's the second time that he's died within the first 30 seconds. He decided to go in hard. He had the turret somewhere, but there was no angle for him to have on COOLLER at that point, so he couldn't get that assistance. And COOLLER had a great angle to hit a high % accuracy on the LG. COOLLERZ attacking once again. His rockets were fantastic, but COOLLER is now going to extend his lead 2-0. Control is very tentative, though.
COOLLERZ would have at least been looking for best case scenario, having a trade situation and at least maybe equalizing a bit, rather than having a 2-frag deficit, which is currently sitting on. COOLLER's pretty weak here, though. This is Corrupted. There's plenty of health bubbles around to collect, but that doesn't stop COOLLERZ from being way more stacked. Really trying to go full speed ahead and steal away anything that resembles a heavy. Even if it's not the heavy itself, it's undoing some of that work. COOLLER, plenty of armor. Should be pretty easy to LG thanks to the piercing sight, but is it going to be enough? No, it will not. COOLLERZ finally gets on the drawing board earlier than he would have expected.
Yeah, a lot earlier. His health isn't too bad too. He's got a good position for the Mega. He's going to be able to defend this quite comfortably. COOLLER being really aggressive, dropping down. His aim is going mental. COOLLER's hitting a lot at the moment, but COOLLERZ's getting himself back into control, and it looks like the Blood Run may have just been a bit of a hiccup. We'll have to see, though, how the following minutes play out, and if COOLLERZ can really keep himself composed.
Yeah, the escape's in his sights. Mega's going to be spawning soon, trying to set up the turret just to get a bit of bonus damage. Assuming there's going to be an up-close fight. COOLLER jumping down a little bit early and catching him out. Part of me half thinks maybe the turret was there in case COOLLER was going to stand on top of the ramp and shoot the rockets down, expecting COOLLERZ to go for Mega, but no, COOLLERZ just face rolls right into it.
It's a very do-or-die strategy for COOLLERZ, having the exact timing of the Mega health and wanting to get your feet on it, the same spot that it lands. The thing is, if Killson's timing is just half a second better, then that's what he can do to you. He's going to find another rocket as they fight at the lower light armor. 4-2. Now Killson has to make yet another recovery.
Constantly playing from behind this stage of the competition can't be very fun. I imagine it's quite stressful to face this at the moment, but the turret gets dropped. A little bit of area denial. Able to stop the damage a bit, but he has taken a significant amount of damage. Importantly, running out of armor. And that might be something that Killson can capitalize on, but not without beautiful directs like that. Looks like Killson might go down again, and he does indeed. He was so close to finishing off Cooler.
Is he going to fight again as fast as possible? Mega health's up in a couple of seconds. Killson is going to be able to make it there. Lightning gun, sub 10 seconds, still heavy. But again, it's that HMG damage.
And I love the choice, actually. COOLLERZ saying, okay, go on, take the Mega. I know you've just spawned. What kind of weapon do you have to challenge my heavy machine gun? In this case, going in for LG, wins the fight for another time. Killson, the frags are just completely starting to snowball here. And COOLLERZ for another time. Look, there might be a refrag here. Killson, he knows the stacks there. He knows COOLLERZ will be weak. But COOLLERZ going to give him nothing to work with. Probably going to be a fight before Piercing Sight comes online. Going to be able to now at least be able to retreat. Be careful dropping down. Yeah, he's trying to get information before he dedicates to anything like that.
Slowly rebuilding that stack. Killson hasn't been able to break him. Despite COOLLERZ being so low, okay, he has managed to let Killson through, but he's just bouncing him around everywhere with those rockets. His defensive plays have been incredible. And they're so subtle too. There's the HMG yet again. He's incredibly, that must be the third or fourth time that he's left with sub 25 points of health, but he's recovering fast.
It's also map positioning, right? When a fight inevitably breaks out, I kind of feel like COOLLERZ always making sure there is some kind of fallback. In this case, it was Nail Room. Thank you, sir. Everything around to top us up. Piercing Sight's going to be activated, and it's going to work hand in hand with Heavy Machine Gun. However, the issue might be forced. Some beautiful rockets. Killson again getting fragged, and again COOLLERZ barely surviving, but surviving all the same. But he's being so well positioned that Killson can't really refrag.
COOLLERZ managing to dodge these rockets. There was one or two very important shots of the rocket that Killson missed, which would have allowed him to have the frag with probably 50 to 100 health left. And COOLLERZ is surviving these. This is going to start getting slightly infuriating for Killson. He really has to keep himself together, because on this map you can absolutely make this comeback, but work has to be done. Gets that turret through the teleporter. Lightning gun onto COOLLERZ, 100 health left, but Killson's going to take himself out.
Absolute disaster being spelled for Killson. He's fresh off the spawn. There's nothing he can do to survive that one. And I do fear perhaps Killson might be getting a little bit affected by it. You know, the suicide combined with the terrible spawn position. And this is just not his map either. I honestly fear there are shades of what happened at QuakeCon in complete...
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's definitely not what happened at QuakeCon, because we saw what happened to COOLLERZ there, but it's happening to Killson. He's getting bodied right now. COOLLERZ playing an amazing game, and he just looks so poised, so serious about this, and really set on getting revenge against Killson.
And there's a common issue here where Killson, he's trying really hard to force the issue. You know, he's getting satisfied with his stack, and he's like, right, I'm going to attack another unfavorable spawn, secured. That's now going to be 2 separate times he gets caught there, unable to fight back. You know, might as well tie your hands behind your back. And COOLLERZ recovery, sublime. Killson now being too aggressive, but he's in a weird position where he kind of has to be. Now the choice isn't really his to make. If he's going to make a comeback, he has to really kind of force one of these frags, and then kind of just so happens to catch him on the spawn every single time and snowball it. Otherwise, he's literally not got time anymore. Oh, not again. Not again. Another one. The Nails 100. Count it up. Goes in for the SSG. Killson steals away the Mega. Now, technically, if he really just lets the landslide rock,
are you looking at the data?
Happen.
You're looking at the data and thinking,
maybe.
Statistically.
But I feel like COOLLERZ is just, I mean, he's well aware of that, right? I mean, his goal here might just be to try and drag out these fights as much as physically possible. You know, Killson's being forced to run away. COOLLERZ doesn't necessarily need to constantly chase this down. Now, yeah, another frag would be nice. But as long as Killson's behind and being forced to restack up, he's not able to take a fight. And if he's not able to take a fight, he's not able to get any snowball effect frags that he desperately needs. I mean, 3 minutes left. I'm not even sure. There's not much time left, Suter.
There's not. I mean, I feel like it's a similar show to, you know, this point in Blood Run, that it's, you know, just coast it to the end now.
I mean, a wise man right next to me once said there's still time, and I feel like there is not still time anymore. COOLLERZ going to pick up another one. 7:20 on the clock. And then I just, how many times is COOLLER going to get a frag and barely survive?
Yeah, exactly. I wish I could answer this question, because at the moment it seems it's an unlimited amount of times. And that's something that can get to you as a player. But for COOLLERZ, if we can see how headstrong he is, he'll start to bring it back in the third map. Map 3 is Awoken. I believe this was actually the final map between them at QuakeCon as well.
It's most unfortunate, though, that I feel like COOLLERZ is being forced into a do-or-die situation in such fashion. You know, this is very, very unlike him, for sure.
But it creates an interesting story now between the two of them when they meet at LAN in terms of how these results pan out. Who knows where we'll actually be when we have completed the entire semi-final, but as it stands... What, are they playing best of 3, best of 5s or something? Because right now it's, yeah, it's hot in favor of COOLLER.
I just feel like how things are going, and COOLLER's been playing exceptionally well, for sure. I mean, it is coming down every single time a fight happens. It is that combat skill, and that's the closest he's survived on yet.
Still.
But I mean, we absolutely can't. We're talking a lot about how this is very kind of uncharacteristic of QUILLSEN. Doesn't really look like he's playing his best at all. I definitely think there might be an element of him being quite affected by how some of these frags have gone. It looks like he's a little bit, you know, I guess... tilted might be the only word you can use for some of the frags. Now it's a bit different because he's having to just force the issue. Like, he has no choice but to be aggressive. But early on, COOLLER's just playing immaculately well. When he has to establish control and get that early lead before he can start to really take his foot off the gas, he's just taking every item. He's winning every single fight. He's just always in the perfect position. And QUILLSEN's kind of just handing himself to COOLLER at this point.
For COOLLER's next trick, he's going to survive with 1 health.
Don't say it, because he'll do it. You know he will.
I'm ready. I've jinxed it, obviously, but...
I'm going to make 99 hit points disappear.
Okay. Let's not rule it out. All right, the turret's going to help out a little bit. We'll get rid of that one. 16-3, though. What a savage scoreline. He's not really letting QUILLSEN have any more. It's like he could let QUILLSEN do anything he wants, get some kills, it doesn't matter. He could sit still, but he's still running around the map. He's still playing those games with him. And playing games with the turret, too.
And he still has a stack at the same time. QUILLSEN, I mean, for him, it's mostly just muscle memory and procedure at this point. You know, just trying to keep the item rotation going, trying to get shots whenever he can. This map was over like 3 minutes ago, at least.
Yeah, definitely at least.
And it's going to be a swift 2-0.
Wow.
COOLLER just looking like an entirely different beast right now.
Just huge wow. It's alarming at the moment for all of us watching. It's particularly alarming for QUILLSEN and what's going on internally there. He's got a scary COOLLER to go up against, and he has to figure out a plan and figure it out fast. How many of these highlights are we going to see COOLLER left with between 2 and 25 health?
And I mean, fundamentally, through a lot of these replays, you get to see QUILLSEN being in a really unfavorable position and not really having a lot of stack either, because COOLLER is just deleting it so quickly. And almost more often than not, how many of these replays does COOLLER have more armor? And even just down to that, the heavy machine gun was such an MVP, particularly early on, where it almost looked a little bit like QUILLSEN was sometimes underestimating its range and damage in the spur of the moment. Like, you know, COOLLER's going to swap to the heavy machine gun and just spray me down. My health bar's going to just absolutely vanish before my eyes. Another magic trick coming out from COOLLER, who just looks to be on fire. But on the opposite end, there really is just something about how QUILLSEN is approaching some of these situations. This is the second map in a row now where he's lost a frag in the first 30 seconds. And he's kind of strong-armed his way in there, and it hasn't worked out. There were some accidental suicides. There were some really bad spawn traps on his end. A lot of frags that will definitely test the mental strength of even the world's greatest. We have to hope that he's going into map 3 with a clear and fresh mind, because this is very much now do or die.
It's the only way. Well, looking at the stats there, obviously very strong for COOLLER. But moving into the next map, where we are going to Awoken, we've got a Sorlag for QUILLSEN and a Doom for COOLLER. I think Doom is statistically incredibly good champion on this map, but Sorlag has had her fair share of victories too. If COOLLER's hitting as hard as he is, this could end up being very difficult for QUILLSEN. But if QUILLSEN can... This aggressive play, because he seems to be so happy to go into these fights, especially when he keeps getting him low. This is something that could work a bit better with Sorlag, but I'm also worried that it might dig him into a deeper hole. I'm anxious, Ketchup.
I mean, it's in Sorlag's nature to be aggressive when the time is right?
Yeah.
You know, where she's going to sort of smell blood, she's going to do a little bit of entry damage, run in, the acid up close just melts health away, as does, you know, good use of rockets and stuff like that. And I wonder if that's going to be almost like an opposite effect if you're picking fights right now, the way we're currently starting to see. I guess only time will tell, and we're only a few seconds away, Zoot, from finding out. COOLLER versus k1LLSEN.
Let's do it.
We're going to see if this is potentially a 3-0. k1LLSEN going in with that Sorlag. I really hope the natural aggressive nature of this champion doesn't get used against him. He's going to pop a and there's the early takedown.
So
okay.
There was a very interesting play there. There was a delay on the Mega so that he wouldn't give the sound cue and so that he would let k1LLSEN rush into him. Unfortunately for COOLLER, he wasn't able to execute on the fight, but I just thought it was a nice cheeky play from him to try and open up the game really, really early. COOLLER still probably going to be feeling very good. Going to play from behind on the scoreboard. Let's see if he's able to stop this advancement from k1LLSEN. At least gets himself the first blood within the first 30 seconds instead of being first blooded.
That's automatically an improvement from what we've seen the past two maps. You know, I think that kind of frag is very much on COOLLER's end, kind of like a, fair enough. There's lots of time to make magic happen here. But for now, k1LLSEN establishing presence near the heavy, getting a little bit of damage, but nothing to really write home about just yet. As now k1LLSEN's looking to stack up wherever possible. We're going to see what the play is going to be. That Mega is just about to spawn in the area. Denial coming out of that acid instantly. Should be a pretty free pickup. A slight delay to get some rail damage first, and now the stack divide is significantly greater than it was before.
Yeah, k1LLSEN's going to be looking to get aggressive ASAP. I think he's just heard where he is, so it's time to go in. COOLLER, we've got to hit these rockets. Now the jump forward. Oh my god, so much damage from COOLLER. And that double jump when you're going versus the rockets, that's kind of the kryptonite. Now k1LLSEN's recovering fast. It looks like he might still be able to pose a challenge.
Getting a lot of damage being distributed here. Hard to call who's going to win. The armor ran out, and at that stage, I feel like that was just beneficial for k1LLSEN, purely because, you know, the moment that armor disappeared and the damage can become real, if you're going to die anyway, let's just go out with something that means at least something for me. You know, 3-1, k1LLSEN still maintaining the exact same lead that he had before. And fresh off the spawn, you know, he didn't have a bad spawn either. His stack is nice and impressive.
There's the heavy k1LLSEN rocking a lot of health and armor. And it looks like he wants to get involved. Gets that ledge grab going. There's a rocket. COOLLER suspended in the air for a moment. k1LLSEN, can he find the last shot? Some low damage rockets going, but there was a lot of them going at the same time. And he finds himself a rail shot to land. 4-1 for k1LLSEN. It looks like he's waking up in this series. But he has a long road to the finals if he wants to make it all the way back.
There was quite a lot of unsung discipline there too, where k1LLSEN's going towards Mega and the two deaths had happened. There was a bunch of weapons located there, some armor shards too. Still not really being tempted to kind of just go to the right, which would have been a more obvious angle to take damage, even though there's tons of pickups on the floor. He is going to be able to replenish some of his rockets though, thanks to the frag. Some opening damage and COOLLER getting deleted here. By all accounts, should get fragged again if he hits the rail, of which he does. k1LLSEN, okay, looks like he's starting to wake up.
I think COOLLER's got to realize too is that, oh, I'm playing a different k1LLSEN right now. Something has changed. Well, we're going to have a couple of rail misses, but it's not going to be upsetting at all for k1LLSEN. He can start doing his chores around the map, picking up those light armors, and we are going to have Mega relatively soon. Can he defend this choke point? Well, he's just found COOLLER. Rockets aren't terrible, but he's hitting like a truck, and that's going to allow COOLLER to get back on the board again. Very important, especially because they know the couple of little armor shards. k1LLSEN was going a little bit full speed ahead until he was hitting the front lines by COOLLER. Heavy's just about to spawn. COOLLER's able to snap that up pretty easily. You know, k1LLSEN, he's not going to be super interesting challenging yet. I think that he's got the weapons for the job. He's taking a lot of damage on the way out now, though. This is very much an opportunity for COOLLER. Caught in the air with some LG. Not enough to write home about because the stack advantage was just too severe. And there are signs of life coming out now from COOLLER. See if he can extend this even more, make it a 4-6 or beyond. Does get once more sort of big damage. k1LLSEN unable to really challenge it so far. The rail caught on the teleporter. That's unfortunate. Yeah, COOLLER is making it back at a sort of scary fast rate at the moment, given how fast you can reasonably make it back versus a Sorlag. Stack is huge, and k1LLSEN's going to play away from the Mega Health. He's just doing a full lap of the map. And the full control is in COOLLER's hands too. A really sizable delay in between those two Mega items, which means that if COOLLER's playing his cards right and continuing to hit those really frustrating rails for k1LLSEN, he's not really in a position where he can really fight back for it.
Here comes the heavy. Even if there was anything that resembled a rail angle, COOLLERZ was just at the teleport a little late. But he's trying to just kind of hit a surprise point. Get towards Mega nice and early. Can he win this fight? He's going to go in, but to no avail. Give me those light bubbles just to stop the bleeding. And the Mega, once more, control going into the favor of COOLLERZ. Only 2 frags now to make up, and this comeback just became extremely real.
Yeah, and with heavy armor coming back up, is there going to be any punish from k1LLSEN? He's been spotted. COOLLERZ getting all the damage. One rocket finally hits for a little splash, but k1LLSEN is suddenly really low. This is going to be another for COOLLERZ, I think. Eventually, the splash is good.
It is coming down, really, to these rocket dodges. Like COOLLERZ, his sort of like rocket rhythm, I suppose, of where he's kind of reading k1LLSEN's going to make those shots. It's been kind of spot on the whole time. And then you have Doomslayer anyway, where his double jump, the balance of Doomslayer is really good against rocket launcher, but weak against LG. Now, that's the whole balance of the champion. So you've got someone who's doing a great job of dodging rockets, and a champion that also does a good job of dodging rockets. It's becoming a bit of a pain in the backside for k1LLSEN, I think.
Well, with a big stack, try and dominate that center map. k1LLSEN moving through LG. COOLLERZ can't slow him down fast enough. He's found him up on the ledge, looking for as much LD damage as he can. Oh my god, k1LLSEN solo, and the comeback has happened already. There's still 4 minutes left, and everything k1LLSEN worked for is faded away, and control is still with COOLLERZ. Rocket's not looking too bad. He's got some acid damage, but it's faded already.
Massive stack, plenty of armor. Denying as much as possible if he can, but k1LLSEN has a lot to be concerned about, especially getting hit by rails like that. And I mean, just face rolling into it just in case. I mean, that was a point of no return, right? The moment that rail hit, COOLLERZ was going to chase it, and there's no armor nearby. Maybe there'd be a little bit of armor near LG, but it's definitely not enough to worry about. Fresh off the spawn, another frag from COOLLERZ. Oh no, Zoot, it's happening again!
It is happening. What a start we've had from k1LLSEN. COOLLERZ gets a decent kill. He's not left with much armor, but he walks straight onto a light, straight onto a heavy, and it's... I mean, it's back to business for him. And he never got faded by that early frag streak that k1LLSEN was getting. And once again, LG on LG. The Mega Health's not even up for a while. k1LLSEN can't really be challenging these fights. Like, this seems very unusual for me to see k1LLSEN doing this. Usually there's a lot more engineering of a situation that goes into play, and it's not just a sort of straight rush, which you can get from Sorlag, but you've got to get the control first.
There was about a minute k1LLSEN had to work with while he could still play this kind of reserved game, stack up and try and hit those range shots before going in, before that kind of panic button can set it. Unfortunately now he's kind of given up some more, at this point maybe unnecessary frags. He's going point blank, trying again, really trying to just bully his way into this Mega, and it's not working at all. And now, less than 2.5 minutes on the clock, COOLLERZ on the verge of a 3-0. There's just a level of composure that's been carrying all the way through k1LLSEN. If he loses this frag, I'm going to panic big time, because that's a horrible one to give up.
Yeah, right now it's putting the triangle block in the circle hole. It's not fitting the situation.
With enough force, you might get it in, but it's unlikely.
But don't keep trying. Maybe after another 20 attempts. But no, really, COOLLERZ's been immaculate with his defensive play. He's had to react a lot to what k1LLSEN's been doing. He's just maintaining the control. He's stabilizing what he's got, and as soon as he gets a frag, that's what he focuses on. k1LLSEN afterwards, I think, is telling him what to do, basically, because like, here I am, let's have a fight. You have to just react to what I'm doing now. Oof, the rail, k1LLSEN starts to get control, and immediately that's largely nullified.
And this defensive game can come into full force thanks to COOLLERZ with that 4 frag lead at this stage. He's got plenty of ammo, plenty of just base stack to work with. He is going to get surprised by k1LLSEN. The last minute double jump, just in case he swaps to a cheeky rail to try and throw off his accuracy there, but I feel like COOLLERZ has wasted enough time that it's very likely he's going to win this map. I'm not going to call it over until it's over for the sake of this being k1LLSEN's last chance, but it is a shame to see things escape in almost a very similar way. It's not as severe as we've seen in previous maps, but there was that moment again of really just trying to mega, and how many frags were given up trying to do that, Zoot.
There was so many. And you've got to remember, COOLLERZ actually had to make a pretty astonishing comeback as it was. I thought it was 6-1 to k1LLSEN, something along those lines. And COOLLERZ did it with, I believe, 4 minutes to spare. That's an insane job by COOLLERZ. His rockets have been fantastic. He's almost equalizing the stacks with that. And k1LLSEN close shots. Is it going to happen? Oh, denied by the rockets. 30 seconds left, but look how little health and armor there is. And COOLLERZ like, yeah, I know that's the spawn frag location. I'm not going to step in there while I believe he'll be around.
And at this stage, the win is officially impossible. COOLLERZ going to take the victory versus COOLLERSEN. Real shame to see COOLLERSEN go out like this. I really, truly believe that it is really not true to his own form. But what is true is that COOLLERZ is going to be in grand finals, officially taking revenge on the German, correcting the wrong from QuakeCon, and giving us a phenomenal performance.
Well, what's that? 2 finals in a row for him. COOLLERZ looking in great shape. What a performance. What a comeback on Awoken. And I mean, I don't know what to add. Question marks looming around. Kilsen's approach to that game. It's the mirror from QuakeCon. Fascinating story here.
COOLLERZ, he's going to be absolutely heartbroken. You can really see it in his face. You know, the world champion from QuakeCon, unfortunately, will not be seeing him in grand finals for Luka. A heartbreaker indeed, but if you're a COOLLERZ fan out there, you're going to be over the moon right now.
Yeah, indeed. The name etched on the belt is going to be different to the last one. Let's find out what COOLLERZ got to say. Over to you, Jorasa.
COOLLERZ, congratulations. You're in the final here, and the level at which you're playing right now, the consistent level at which you've shown us throughout this match is... how satisfied are you that you are where you want to be for the final?
I'm not agree with you, to be honest. Okay. I mean, I don't think my level is like super high at the moment. I think COOLLERZ has like a bad day or something, because like usually he's playing way more better, and I felt it like so much. So sorry for him about that, but still, I don't know.
But looking forward, if that's true, that also means that there's room for you to improve and you still are able to unlock something before the final. And you've seen how everyone else is playing right now. Razy's at a pretty scary level himself. So how much are you looking forward to, and how confident are you right now?
I've played like 3 times in online matches against Razy. So we know each other like pretty well, I guess. Yep. And I'm kinda tired of playing against him, to be honest. Yeah, like it was 6 matches online, and it was 3 Razy, 2 COOLLERZ, 1 Venger, right, and 1 Toxic, I guess. Okay, it's 7, I guess. Okay, never mind. So I wish him good luck. Anyways, he won the previous one. And yeah, I think he's one of the best anyways, and I really respect this guy, the level of his playing, and his unique style especially. So it's gonna be, I hope it's gonna be interesting match, but I don't know, I think he's better than me, to be honest. But I'll try my best.
We're looking forward to it, and we hope we can have a fantastic grand final, which of course is what we're now going to be setting up and preparing for. Congratulations once again, nonetheless. And ladies and gentlemen, we will be back with the finals after this. Desk, back to you.